سبحانك اللهم لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا اللهم علما وعملا متقبلا آمين يا رب العالمين. Welcome to this continuation of the reading of the book and teaching of the teacher of the teachers of the teachers of our teachers, Shaykh Jamal al-Ghazighumuqi al-Husayni al-Daghistani, entitled al-Aadaab al-Mardiyya fil-Tariqat al-Naqshbandiyya, the well-pleasing manners in the Naqshbandi Sufi path. By permission of our teacher, Mawlana Shaykh Hisham Qabbani, may Allah grant him long life and good health and raise his stations evermore. Ameen. And our teacher, Mawlana Shaykh al-Haqqani, may Allah bless his secret and raise his stations evermore. Ameen. The seventh chapter. قال الباب السابع. قال اعلم. You must know. وفقك الله تعالى للتحقيق. May Allah Most High grant you success for reaching certainty. That is one possible translation for tahqiq. And another translation is realization, which in this case would be self-realization. وهداك إلى سواء الطريق. And may He guide you to the straight path or the perfect road. أن لساداتنا النقشبندية متعنا الله تعالى بميامن أنفاسهم. That our Naqshbandi masters, may Allah Most High grant us to enjoy and make use of the blessings of their breaths, أنفاسهم, يعني their lives. ونور قلوبنا بأنوار بركات كؤوسهم. And may Allah enlighten and pour light into our hearts with the lights of the blessings of their cups, كؤوسهم. And ku'us means a full cup. So of course the fullness here of the cup is not with wine, but it is with spiritual truths, spiritual teachings, spiritual realities. So this is what they mean when they speak of the wine cups and the beverages going around. It means, of course, exclusively spiritual realities and in elevated meanings. So you must know that they have two paths. أن لساداتنا النقشبندية طريقان, two ways, two methods. أحدهما اسم الذات. The first one is the name of the essence, meaning the name Allah. والثاني النفي والإثبات. And the second one is the negation and the affirmation, meaning the two statements, La ilaha, and then affirmation, illallah. La ilaha illallah. So the first one is Ismu Dhat, the name of the essence. Allah, 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 Allah as a dhikr. And the second one is the negation and the affirmation. La ilaha illallah. The negation, La ilaha. There is no God but Allah. Illallah. Except Allah. قال واختلفوا في ذلك. They differed concerning that. فبعضهم اختار النفي والإثبات. So some of them shows in the sense that they preferred النفي والإثبات, meaning to practice لا إله إلا الله, the negation and the affirmation. لقوله صلى الله تعالى عليه وسلم, in light of the statement of the Prophet upon him and his family, blessings and peace, أفضل الذكر لا إله إلا الله. The best of mentions of Allah is لا إله إلا الله. To say that. This is a well-established hadith and a well-known one. وَلِقَوْلِهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ تَعَالَى عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ, and also in light of another hadith of the Prophet, upon him and his family, blessings and peace, أَفْضَلُ مَا قُلْتُ أَنَا وَالنَّبِيُّونَ مِنْ قَبْلِي لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. The best of what I have said, I and all the prophets before me, is La ilaha illallah. There is no God but Allah. وَلِقَوْلِهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ تَعَالَى عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ, and also in light of his statement upon him and his family, blessings and peace, جَدِّدُوا إِيمَانَكُمْ بِقَوْلِ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. Renew your faith and your belief with the statement, meaning by saying La ilaha illallah, there is no God but Allah. وَلِأَنَّ, يعني when we say there is no God but Allah, it means there is no God but the one God. There is no God but the one God. يعني the affirmation of pure monotheism. This is what is meant in Arabic and by Muslims when they say Tawheed, at-Tawheed. It is the affirmation of pure monotheism or strict monotheism. Yani, it is not enough to say monotheism when other groups also claim monotheism, but in fact, by the criterion of the understanding of the Islamic belief, it is not strict monotheism. It is adulterated monotheism. It is mixed. And therefore, it is not really monotheism in the eyes of Muslims. So the teaching of the Prophet upon him and his family, blessings and peace, are very clear in this respect in the Quran and in the Hadith, and the consensus of the Ummah, meaning the entire nation of Islam, of the Muslims, the community of the imams and scholars and authorities, they all concur that anything that falls short of that is not monotheism, even if it calls itself monotheism. So this is why we like to add pure or strict to make that clear. Otherwise, we wouldn't need to do that. We would just say monotheism. But because this this meaning is now mixed or corrupted or misunderstood, then therefore it's necessary to clarify each and every time when we translate Tawheed to say that it means pure monotheism, nothing but, and nothing short of. So 3 hadiths. The last one, renew your faith or your belief by stating La ilaha illallah. قال ولأن لها أثرا ظاهرا عظيما. It has a huge effect. أثرا ظاهرا عظيما, a huge and obvious effect, meaning the repetition of La ilaha illallah. According to the Sufis, عند القوم. So when they say al-qawm, يعني the group, the people, it means the Sufis here. In doing what? في تطهير الباطن, in purifying the inner self. the inward person, وتنويره, and enlightening the person, ما لا يوجد في غيرها من سائر الأذكار, in a way that is not found in other types of dhikr, of remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. قال واختار بعضهم لفظة الجلالة, and some of them preferred the term of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, يعني the word of majesty. وهذا ما اختاره الشيخ محي الدين وبعض الكمل من المحققين. And this is what Shaykh Muhyi al-Din, meaning Ibn Arabi, may Allah raise his station and bless his soul, and some of the perfect sheikhs of the verifying ones. So here muhaqqiq means a very high authority, an authority that tells you what is correct. So they verify what is correct for you, and their word or their opinion carries a lot of weight. So they are muhaqqiqin, and every field has its muhaqqiqin. Yani in fiqh you have the muhaqqiqin, in aqidah the muhaqqiqin, in tasawwuf also you have the muhaqqiqin, and of course in the Arabic language. وَدَلِيلُهُمْ, and their evidence to that effect, or their proof text, is قُلِ اللَّهِ ثُمَّ ذَرْهُمْ. And he stops here in quoting the verse. Of course, the completion of the verse is وَذَرْهُمْ فِي خَوْضِهِمْ يَلْعَبُونَ, which means say Allah and then leave them. And the continuation of the verse is, and then leave them in their digging and in their questioning and in their probing as they play. Yani they are just trying to make obstacles for you, Ya Habibi, Ya Rasulallah. So do not argue with them, because they are not arguing in good faith. They are just arguing for the sake of creating difficulties. So they are trying to play with you and with the faith and with the belief and with the akhirah and all that. They are not really trying to reach the truth. They are trying, on the contrary, they are pretending. They are asking serious questions, but they are not. So leave them so that they can play in their little sandbox, as some people have explained it. But it doesn't say how would be the sandbox. It says khawd, which is the term for probing and plunging and arguing at different levels and always trying to wrangle and dispute. So at different depths of the conversation, just to create new obstacles. So this is like digging in and going deep into finding objections, finding ways to be negative. That is the khawd, and it's forbidden even even among Muslims, among the believers, to go into khawd like that, even about religious matters and about the truth. You don't. And the highest adab in tariqah, of course, is to not even to ask questions, but to come with an open heart and excellent adab, and eyes downcast and ears wide open and mouth closed, and eye guards, like the horses that are driving a cart, not looking right or left, but looking where we place our feet in front of the Shaykh and waiting for the answer to come even before you ask the question. Because if the Shaykh does not hear you loud and clear, then he would not be the Shaykh, he would not be your Murshid. The Murshid, by definition, knows exactly what you came for even before you decided to embark on the trip, and your issues and your problems and your questions, and the answer is already on the way. So there is a lot in this ayah sharifa, but the point here is it says verbatim, say Allah, Qulillah, Qulillah. So say Allah and then leave them. Yani, do not get involved with the dunya affairs and problems and fights and arguments and desires and fears of dunya people. Leave them. And this is a very strong proof. That is the one that we have been raised with in this tariqah. قال وقال بعضهم إن ذلك راجع إلى المريد. So some of the murshids said that this, or one of the murshids said that it's really up to the murids. فإن وجد التأثير في قلبه بالنفي والإثبات لزمه وأكثر منه. If the murid finds a good effect and progress in their heart through النفي والإثبات, يعني saying لا إله إلا الله, then they must stick to that. لزمه وأكثر منه, and do a lot of that. وإن وجد التأثير باسم الذات لزمه وأكثر منه. And likewise, if they find that the good effect and progress is in the repetition of Allah, 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 then they stick to that and they do it in abundance. وقال بعضهم يشتغل بما أمر به شيخه. One must put into practice and do a lot of whatever the Shaykh ordered them. Whatever their murshid ordered them, that's what is their best practice. This is something that we follow also, because there is a principle in our tariqah that whatever is coming to you as an order, it is better than to order yourself, because then it is your own nafs that is in charge. But if it is coming from the Shaykh, then you can be sure that it is not your own nafs. So therefore, that is best. قال وقال بعضهم, and another one of the murshids said, الأولى بعد تعلم السالك طريق الاشتغال, that the preferable way after the wayfarer or the murid has learned the way of practice, and يقال له, that they should be told أنت مخير, now you choose. فكل شغل أبعد من التفرقة في حقك وأقرب إلى الجمعية اشتغل به. So you choose on the basis that every activity and task and wazifa, homework, that brings you farther away from separation, in your case, that's what you must do. And whatever brings you closer also to jam'iyya, that's what you must do. So here the meaning of jam'iyya would be the community. We have heard this before. طريقتنا الصحبة وَالْخَيْرُ fil-Jam'iyya, as related from Shah Naqshband. Our path, our Sufi path, consists in companionship, meaning with the Shaykh, suhbah, and great goodness, al-khayru, resides in what? In the Jam'iyya, translated here as the community. So whatever keeps you away from tafriqa, yani separation from the group, separation from the zawiyah, separation from the manners of the zawiyah that we learn at the zawiyah, separation that from the manners that we learn from the Shaykh in his suhbah. Whatever keeps you away from such a separation, that is what is good for you. And whatever is bringing you closer to Jam'iyya in the sense of community and all of the adab that we learn much more easily in the Jama'ah and the barakah of Jama'ah, then that's what you must keep to. That is one level of translating tafriqa and Jam'iyya. Another level of translating tafriqa and Jam'iyya is about the spiritual energy also of the murid, which concerns exclusively the murid. Yani the murid and the Shaykh are the only ones that really know about the that level in the murid. But the Shaykh is not going to mention it to the murid until the murid brings it up first. The murid must be transparent about that. That, for example, I cannot concentrate. So that is a problem, because lack of concentration, that is tafriqa. Tafriqa in the sense of not separating from the group, but you are dispersing your energies so that you cannot focus on what is important to you. If you keep, for example, checking your phone while you are with your teacher, whether you are in a classroom or whether you are in front of your Shaykh or in front of the judge in a courtroom, in front of the doctor in the clinic, and so on, you cannot pay attention to what matters the most. So your case will be lost. Your health regimen, you will not understand what is good for you, what is bad for you. You will not remember what they said because you were paying attention to something. So this can be a real issue for you, can be a mortal problem even, and a deadly one. So in the spiritual path, it is the same and worse. Therefore, it has to be treated. And then in this respect, what is Jam'iyya? Jam'iyya is the focusing of the spiritual energy of the murids. So when that is focused, then there is a lot of benefit that happens. And there is a high energy, and including the high energy of doing ibadah, of getting up for prayer at night, of reading your wazifa on a daily basis with regularity, etc., etc., which are yani basic mundane routines that can be, cause fatigue or boredom, but the secret is in regularity. So you need that. You need to stay away from tafriqa and to gather up your jam'iyya, your spiritual focus, your spiritual energy, and in that way you will progress. So there's two ways of interpreting these terms. Then he concluded this by saying لكن الاشتغال بالنفي والإثبات أدخل في الترقي وتنوير الباطن. However, to get busy with لا إله إلا الله, لا إله إلا الله, النفي والإثبات, is more effective in quickly progressing and enlightening the heart, يعني the batin. So this is the end of the words of the previous Shaykh. Then he said, وَقَالَ بَعْضُهُمْ, and one of them said, مَا دَامَ الْمُرِيدُ يَشْهَدُ شَيْئًا مِنَ الْأَكْوَانِ. as long as the murid is still witnessing something of creation, al-akwan, of the creatures. Al-akwan is the plural of kaun, al-kaun, which is creation. And in tasawwuf, we also hear al-aghyar a lot. Yani everything that distracts you. So as long as the murid is still noticing that, that is how we should translate yashhadu here. Not witnessing, but noticing anything of that. Then فذكره بالنفي والإثبات واجب عليه في اصطلاح القوم. Then according to the methodology of the Sufis, then it is still obligatory for that murid to work with La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah. لأنها مفتاح حقائق القلوب, because that is the key to the realities of the hearts. يعني must first take that key from that exercise. ويترقى بها السالك إلى علام الغيوب, and through that the wayfarer, السالك, يعني the progressing murid, progresses, يترقى يعني rises on the ladder of progress up to or until they reach علام الغيوب, يعني the all knower of all the unseens. Mawlana Shaykh Nazim said that alimul ghaib is already something immense, يعني the knower of the unseen, but allamul ghuyub, Allah, 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 that is something that like the oceans of the oceans of the oceans, and يعني it is beyond our understanding. Allamul ghuyub, يعني the all knower of all the unseens. So to reach him subhanahu wa ta'ala, the murid is still busy with creation. So first they must clean their path with this wazifa of La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah. فإذا فنيت أهويته وشهواته, so when the identity, the self-identity of the murid has disappeared, yani the murid is no longer noticing, not only not noticing creation, but not noticing themselves anymore. فنيت أهويته, يعني their own identity has disappeared from their own sight of themselves. وشهواته, and his pleasures, كلها, all of them. فحينئذ, at that time, يصلح أن يذكر الله تعالى بلفظة الجلالة فقط من غير نفي. So at that time, then it is appropriate and correct and valid and suitable. And the murid becomes suitable or suited to mention Allah Most High with the term of His majestic name alone, without nafi, yani without saying La ilaha illallah, but just Allah, Allah, Allah. Yani the lafzul jalala from the nafi wal isbat. You remove everything, you drop everything else, and you just keep the lafzul jalala, Allah, 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 and you repeat that. So according to that view, then it takes qualification, it takes exercise, it takes sacrifice, it takes a lot of training and a lot of effort to reach that point. But in our tariqah, from the first moment of the first day of the first moment of bay'ah. You are already making the dhikr of lafzul jalala. Allahu Akbar. قال وأما الأكثر في طريقتنا. As for the majority in our tariqah, whether the majority opinion or the majority practice, both would be correct here. فَتَقْدِيمُ اسم الذات, it is to put forward the name of Allah Most High. يعني that zikr, to make it first. ثُمَّ النَّفْيِ وَالْإِثْبَاتِ, and then after that, النَّفْيِ وَالْإِثْبَاتِ, لا إله إلا الله. So, Mawlana Shaykh Nazim would say, now we have done the khatam, and then we have repeated the we have recited the khatam and the ayah of Holy Quran, and then we are going to make the La ilaha illallah according to all the other tariqas that are using that. So he would include the nafi wal ithbat also in our way of making zikr, but not to the exclusion of ism al-dhat or ism al-jalala, yani Allah, Allah, Allah. So here he mentions that you put first ism al-dhat and then al-nafi wal-ithbat, but Mawlana Shaykh Nazim would start with al-nafi wal-ithbat and then ism al-dhat. And this is what we have kept and taken from him. And he adds the detail here about the nafi wal-ithbat, yani la ilaha illallah, repeating that, بغير حبس النفس, without trying to hold your breath. In other words, this is not something that we stress, that you must try to make it as much as possible without taking a fresh breath. And 10 times, 15 times, and then you take a fresh breath. So some of the shuyukh, they recommend that. But here he is saying, you do not have to do that. Just La ilaha illallah, and then you can take the breath any time that you want, after 1 time or after 2 times or after 3 times, whatever is comfortable, without strain or without any special effort. And then he concludes by saying وَلِكُلٍّ وِجْهَةٌ, as the Quran mentions, that to each there is a direction that they face, or a qibla that they face. So each one has his own method, or his own preference, or his own leaning. وَلِكُلِّ أُنَاسٍ مَشْرَبُهُمْ, and all of the people, each of them, they have their own drinking point. And the mashrab here is the place of drinking. And you do not go and interfere with someone else. You have your own way, you have your own understanding. Whatever they follow is up to them. Do not look right or left, but you have here different options, and then it is up to you to choose. And in our tariqah, of course, we choose whatever our shaykh taught us and chose for us and ordered us, because that's where the barakah is, as I have mentioned. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam wa ahkam, wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Muhammadin sayyid al-awwaleen. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Muhammadin sayyid al-akhirin. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Muhammadin hatta taritha al-arda wa man alayha wa anta khayrul warithin. Wa barik wa sallim tasliman kathiran. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد صلاة ترضيك وترضيه وترضى بها عنا يا أكرم الأكرمين ويا أرحم الراحمين، صلاة تفتح لنا بها أبواب الرضا والتيسير وتغلق لنا بها أبواب الغضب والتعسير. نعم المولى أنت ونعم النصير. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب ربنا آمنا بما أنزلت واتبعنا الرسول فاكتبنا مع الشاهدين شهادة أن لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وصحبه وسلم ربنا توفنا مسلمين وألحقنا بالصالحين بحرمة سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين زيادة إلى شرف النبي المصطفى صلى الله عليه وسلم إلى آله وصحبه الكرام وإلى حضرة إخوانه من الأنبياء والمرسلين وخدماء شرائعهم وإلى أرواح الأئمة الأربعة وإلى أرواح مشايخنا في الطريقة النقشبندية العلية خاصة إلى روح أستاذنا وأستاذ أستاذنا الفاتحة اللهم صل على محمد. Thank you for joining. Inshallah, we'll see you next time. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.